Hello ladies and gentlemen, Green here, and in the previous hours I was bombarded with questions about the new character that is going to come out in Just Mobile. And I'm going to say at the start of the video that we don't know for sure and all we can do is make assumptions. But if you want me to make assumptions, I'll make assumptions based on the character patterns that characters have been released in the past. I'll make assumptions on the characters that were voted in the Just Mobile official Discord, and I'll make assumptions on the little information that we got ourselves from the official video that was released, and then we'll compile a list of possible characters, and I'll give my feedback on what I think will be the character, and at the same time on what I would want to be the character. So yeah, with all that being said, keep in mind this is no verified information, just my honest opinion. So let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, the only thing that we got told by in Just Mobile about this new character was that cinematic that was basically Batman in the Justice League Watchtower watching a few screens. The things that were on screen were not discernible, and the only thing that was discernible were like the gorillas from Gorilla Grodd that were shouting, but I don't think it's going to be Gorilla Grodd. But it was Batman on the monitor womb looking at all the monitors. So first of all, the easiest assumption that is going to be a new Batman character, but that's not likely. They simply wouldn't put it so straightforward. So it's pretty much safe to say that is not a new Batman character. Next up, it might be an option to be a new Justice League character. And first of all, it really depends on what Justice League, because if it's the Justice League that we have all recently been exposed to and seen in the movies, then we're not missing any characters from the actual Justice League. And maybe if we are still talking about this Justice League, the only thing that could be added, since we've already got Darkseid, is like a new villain that was like showcased in those series. We might get Steppenwolf and we might get Doomsday, but not Darkseid because we already have Darkseid. But again, this is unlikely because at some point they kind of specified that it's going to be a hero. I don't think they mean that literally, I don't know if they mean that literally, but we'll take it as literal. Now, when we got the comics version of Injustice of the Justice League. When you got the comic version, you have a few more options. We got Martian Manhunter, we got Atom, we got Hawkgirl, we got Hawkman, we got Plastic Man, and we got Miss Martian. I've only picked characters that have not been so far introduced in Injustice 2 or Injustice 2 Mobile, except for Atom. So, Martian Manhunter is going to be a pretty damn likely character to be introduced because he was the most voted character on the poll that was made ages ago on the official Injustice 2 Mobile Discord server, and so the one that was picked mostly by the community was Martian Manhunter, though I think Raven was in the first spot, but Raven, I haven't found any recordings of her being a literal member of the Justice League team, so right now we're talking about the Justice League team. We'll get to that list later. Atom, yet again, is a maybe, because he's also a member of the Justice League team, and at the same time they already have him in the PC game, and it would be only natural for them to introduce it in this one, because as we have seen with Enchantress, and pretty much with any character in Just Mobile, if you look at their gameplay on the PC, you can see that we just have recycled assets out of their gameplay in the mobile game. At the same time, it's not something out of the ordinary for them to introduce mobile-only characters like they did with Shazam, for example, but at the same time, it's a little bit easier for them to recycle assets from the PC version. Next up is going to be Hawkgirl and Hawkman. Hawkgirl is not extremely likely, like I'd like to see her, but I don't see that happening very soon or at all. I just don't, and Hawkman is not going to come before Hawkgirl because she's like the main character and he's like just a side character to her. Next up we got Plastic Man. Plastic Man would be a very interesting asset, and it's a character that I really enjoy, but I'm not sure if he could be integrated well in the universe that they have built and in the Justice League team that they're building right now. And next up is Miss Martian, but Miss Martian will not come before Martian Manhunter because it just doesn't go that way. So now let's get to the other part. we got some votes in terms of the Injustice 2 mobile characters that the community wants to be released. Those votes were held a long time ago on the Injustice 2 mobile official Discord server. I think it was March or something like that. And I do not have the list anymore, but I can tell for sure that number 1 was Raven. Number 2 was Martian Manhunter, and number 3 and number 4, not sure in which order, were Ares, the Batman Who Laughs, and Deathstroke, or something like that. But we're not going to care about Ares, Batman Who Laughs, and Deathstroke because they don't have much relevance to the Justice League team, and they were anyways the lower spots. We're only left with Raven and Martian Manhunter from this one. And now let's see what options we are left with. We are left with the option of Raven. We're left with the option of Atom, we're left with the option of Martian Manhunter, and yeah, let's talk a little bit about Hawkgirl as well. In my opinion, it's going to be most likely one of those 4. First up, Raven is going to be a very great character if they add her, because first of all, they would finally listen to the community. This was the most voted character, this is what the community wants. Please put Raven in Injustice 2 Mobile. Though I personally prefer another character that's on this list, but please do put Raven in Injustice 2 Mobile in order to please the player base and show the fact that you are listening to them. And in terms of her kit, like, they got 2 options pretty much. They can kind of build her on the base model of Starfire, because they both float and they both are going to use similar flash abilities, just different colors. And yes, of course, change it around, change the things around, change the animations of the abilities around, but in theory you could build her on the Starfire base model and it would not be so hard to implement. Atom would be another character that would be pretty easy to plug in because, yet again, as I have said previously, they can just recycle some assets from their PC game and plug them into the mobile game. But yeah, if you're going to go ahead and look at the PC game, you're going to see a lot of the assets and the movesets that characters use over here. And if you're wondering why characters like Starfire and Supergirl do jump attacks and then do ranged attacks and zone you out, that's the playstyle they kind of have on the PC version, and they try to replicate that with the AI. It's nevertheless annoying, but it's an interesting insight on the development process. So yeah, Atom is yet again a pretty likely character because he is pretty easy to plug in, and he's a character that it was decently voted, and it's a character that is already on the PC version. But I don't really think it will be Atom, since Atom is not the most iconic character to the Justice League. Same applies with Raven, and I don't think they would have been marketed as such. Hawkgirl, I honestly don't really care. Like, Hawkgirl is a cool character, don't get me wrong, I'd love to get her introduced, but out of those 4 characters that I'm going to talk about, Hawkgirl is like the least priority in my opinion, and no rush to see her in Injustice 2 Mobile. And Martian Manhunter. This one is the most likely to be introduced in my opinion, and the one that I want the most to be introduced in my opinion. In my opinion, when I think about the Justice League, like the original, not necessarily the original Justice League, but the Justice League that I grew up with, I simply can't think of it without Martian Manhunter. And Martian Manhunter has been such a valuable asset to the Justice League team, and it can make such a cool character. Like, I don't know how they will implement his transformations, because that was his main thing, mind control and transformations. I'm not sure how they are going to implement that in a game, but I think this one might be the most likely one. This one or Raven. This one or Raven are the most likely ones, and I'd really love to see Martian Manhunter implemented. Atom is also an option. Like, I'm happy with all the 3 of them. I personally want Martian Manhunter. Would be cool to introduce Raven to show that they really listen to the community, and Atom would be yet again another decent add-in. Now, the last part is, are they going to be a gold? Are they going to be a legendary character? I don't know. And let's be honest, most likely a legendary character that's going to be hard to get. Quick add-on. After recording the video, I have found some guy that has this theory in one of the Injustice 2 mobile Facebook groups. But yeah, take a look at yourself at this theory, take it as you may, but I like it because it supports my theory about Martian Manhunter. Like, I think he's the most likely to be in, but yeah, there we go with the rest of the outro that I cut over here. But yeah, Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Dislike it if you dislike it. Maybe hit that bell button. And I'll see you all in the next one.